Hey guys, welcome back to another update of my Canadian Dividend Investing Portfolio series. So in these videos, if you're new to the channel, I'm a Canadian investor that has been documenting my own journey buying and selling Canadian dividend stocks. I'm using the spreadsheet that I made to track my performance over the years, and I'm using Wealthsimple Trade and more recently Questrade as well as my brokers for buying and selling the stocks. If you're interested in getting the spreadsheet, there's a link in the description below where you can download it. And if you're interested in trying out Wealthsimple or Questrade, there's also links in the description below where you can get a referral bonus for signing up through my links, anywhere from $25, I think, to $50 just for signing up and funding the accounts. And if you have been watching my videos in the past, I was always just tracking my one Wealthsimple account, which is this one, but I have also had another Questrade account on the go on the side for a little bit, and we're going to be tracking that in a separate spreadsheet. So we're going to go through probably the Wealthsimple account first and then run through the Questrade and then wrap up the video. The reason I'm using two different copies of the spreadsheet is because the spreadsheet works really well to track one account at a time. If you try to put in all of your information for like your deposits and everything for two different accounts and two different brokers, it doesn't really work that well for it. It works way better for one account at a time. And if you are using the spreadsheet, you're more than welcome to download a copy for each of the accounts that you have, and I think that's going to be the best way for you to use it. So in my Wealthsimple account, we're sitting at a total balance of just over $100,000, almost $105,000. We're up $15,000 or about 17%, which is awesome for me. This has been fluctuating over the years, and that's nice to see it double digits positive. There has been times in the past where it's been double digits negative. So just nice to see it as an amateur investor like myself, because I'm picking my own stocks, and sometimes, as you're about to see, it goes really well, and sometimes it doesn't go so well. So anywho, the average yield of my account is about 3.4%, and we're yielding about $3,500 per year in dividend payments, which works out to be about almost $300 per year. Here we can see all of the monthly payouts that I've got from my dividends since I started back in September 2020. In recent months, I have switched out some of my positions from higher yielding positions to lower yielding positions that I think have overall a stronger growth potential in their stock price rather than paying out dividends. But in my whole life, or in the lifetime of this account, I've received about 14,500 dividends, so that is factored into all of the account totals and matches what's in my broker. To be honest, I'm not really focused on receiving the highest dividends possible. I really like having the cash flow, and I like, if I'm holding a position that has gone, the value has gone down, I like receiving the payouts. But to me, pretty much the most important number is that the total account balance, or the total gain loss, is growing, and I'm hoping to increase that the most. So looking in the portfolio tab, we can take a look at the individual positions that I have. I have it organized right now for the biggest winners at the top and biggest losers at the bottom. If you're using the spreadsheet and you want to sort it in another way, for example, the biggest positions that I have by percent or by value, we can sort it in all sorts of different ways, and I can get better insight onto what's going on in my portfolio. But for now, I'll just leave it. Here are the biggest winners at the top and the biggest losers at the bottom. Clearly, we're ranging from about plus 60% on the high end to almost minus 60% on the low end. This is because I have been picking my own stocks. I am definitely an amateur, and had I not picked some of these, that would have been fantastic and just added more to some of these, but that's just how it is. If you're not comfortable with picking your own stocks, or you don't want to end up in a situation where you might have some realized or unrealized losses, then possibly ETFs might be a better option for you, or index funds. They might have actually been a better option for me, but I just enjoy the process of picking stocks and owning certain ones, and so for me it's okay. I like tracking here in my spreadsheet. Something about the spreadsheet that's interesting is that I'm tracking like all of the dividends that I have received. All of these companies do pay a dividend, so we can even see here. Let's take a look at the yield. We're ranging from the highest yield of 10% at the moment all the way down to, actually this one doesn't have a yield, but that's fine, to lower, like below 1%. And if we sort this again, we can see here that this is included in, I have a metric here for all in performance. So for example, something like Smart Centers here, I am in the red. I have an unrealized loss on the value of the stocks that I own. But here, because I've received over $800 since holding them, that in my books, I'm actually up a little bit. This is kind of an unconventional metric, but it's something that the spreadsheet shows that your broker probably won't. So this just helps me to understand my status on each of my different holdings that I have. So I'm not suggesting that anyone watching this video buys any of these companies, because clearly if you had done some of that, it wouldn't have worked out for you. But like I said, I'm just tracking my own performance here, kind of for your entertainment and information, to see what it's like for someone who's in Canada that has invested, around 100,000 of my own dollars into the stock market, and kind of just riding it out and seeing how it goes. So yeah, running through the rest of the spreadsheet. If you're using the spreadsheet, you'll be really familiar with the transactions, dividends, deposits tabs. If you're interested in using it, there are some other useful sheets in here where we can kind of look around at different positions one at a time, get some information here straight off the internet. And something I like here is the extra Sparklines tab. I do like to scroll through here quickly and get a quick glimpse of the general trend of where my positions are at. So like some of them, like EIF, doing really, really well at the moment, whereas some other ones have pulled back, like Waste Connections in the last few days. Northwest Company was doing great, and then they pulled back pretty far. For the most part, I have been just riding the wave. Occasionally I do buy in or sell out of positions based on their price, but just for your information, if you're curious about using the spreadsheet, we have a lot of different tabs in here, and unfortunately it won't work for income funds, REITs, or neo exchange stocks just to generate the Sparklines, but that's just a relic of how Google Finance is operating. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say to share for the Wealthsimple account. That's where I'm standing at right now. I'm up 17% today. In the future this will be changing, but hopefully this number manages to keep growing. Taking a look at the other account that I have here, it's a bit of a smaller account. I have about $30,000, or almost $35,000 in Questrade. The reason I have two different accounts is because initially I just wanted to put some money aside. I did a big lump sum investment into one position, which I'll show you in a second, and I just didn't want to even see it for like a few months or a few years until I was ready to sell it, and that worked in my favor. And then since then I have been adding kind of blocks of money into this just to keep it separate for some positions that I don't want to watch the daily fluctuations of price. And anyways, I'm tracking them separately because they are two separate accounts. So in this account, basically, the performance is doing a lot better. I'm up 64% in this account. So I've deposited $21,000 and I'm currently sitting at about almost 35. So yeah, that's about $13,000 increase. And I wish my other account had the same kind of performance. But a lot of this had to do with some good timing, and also some just not touching it and coming back later when I was ready to deal with it. This account hasn't existed for as long. I opened it actually in 2022, and I've just been receiving a lot less dividends because I have a lot less positions in here. And overall I'm receiving less money from dividends, but I have done some good swing trades in here on positions, which I'll show you. So moving to the portfolio tab, I'm only holding 4 positions in this account right now. These are 2 positions that I'm just keeping here for my records that I currently own none of, but I have done some swing trading in the past. But I'm trying to keep my positions in here bigger, so I'm usually running $5,000 to $10,000 on each position and buying in and out kind of slowly. Interesting with Aecon, this is what I started with. I have a realized gain of $9,000 on Aecon and a realized gain of $2,000 on Dollarama. So if you look in the transactions tab here, this is what I'm talking about. I was watching their stock price. Maybe we can pull it up here. The Sparklines tab. Maybe need to set this to 5 years. If you need to actually adjust this, you can set it to even longer. It doesn't have to be limited by the drop down here. But basically I was watching Aecon's all-time chart and I was looking for swing trades on it, which I got. So here on the transactions tab, you can see I bought in a pretty big amount in Aecon. So I threw in almost $12,000 in a few different transactions, and my average price from those transactions was about $15, and then I sold them at their peak recently of 27. So that was definitely a bit of lucky timing, and also just kind of had some expectations there. I did something similar with Dollarama. I bought in 75 shares at 142, and then I sold them shortly after at 170 almost, and so that turned almost $11,000 into almost $13,000. So this is something that I've been experimenting with in this smaller account, just managing a few positions, but trying to manage them better than my Wealthsimple account here, where I have like 30 positions. At some point, I would actually like to shrink this down into bigger positions and less of them so I can be more focused. But for some of these, like for example, Allied Properties, I don't really want to sell them at a 50% loss, and so I'm kind of just hanging on and collecting a dividend and hoping I can deal with this later. But my performance that I've personally been experiencing when I'm taking more care and doing a bit of swing trading and stuff, which is also, you know, can go really wrong, but it for me has been working out pretty well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to share at the moment for these. If you're curious, just for confirmation, you can see here that the totals in Questrade is like 34, 605, 23, and my cash here is, where's the cash? 391. So when I look in Questrade, these numbers are matching up as well. 34, 605, and the cash there, just so you know that these numbers are correct. If you're using the spreadsheet, your numbers, if you're only dealing in Canadian currency or one currency at a time, the numbers ideally should total up to be exactly correct if you have input everything correctly over the years. If you have mixed currencies, if you have some Canadian stocks and some US stocks, the numbers will always be like a little bit different because the currency exchange between your broker and Google will be a little bit different, but generally the numbers should be pretty close. And then here for like the Wealthsimple account, we got 104,633 and then 1260 cash. And in the broker, we see actually the exact same numbers. So everything is reporting well. All of the individual positions are the same, and we're getting totals to be correct. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you for now. If you're interested in getting the spreadsheet, there's a link in the description below. If you're having any issues with the spreadsheet, I did just recently roll out the latest version, which is version 3.6. If you're encountering any bugs or any issues, I know there have been a few popping up, specifically with Neo Exchange, some ETFs on there and stuff like that. But at the moment, I am fully active and accessible by email. So my email is in the Welcome tab. You can shoot me an email in there with your questions. If you're getting any errors here on the portfolio, here on the summary tab or on the portfolio tab, do reach out to me. Send me screenshots and a description of your problem, and for the most part, I can usually find a way to fix it, depending on what types of tickers you have input into your spreadsheet. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.